Since 1986, AccuQuote has helped hundreds of thousands of folks save a fortune on their life insurance by quickly comparing the rates, features, and financial strength of dozens of top-rated life insurance products right over the phone. Want some examples? A healthy 50-year-old non-smoker can buy a $500,000 10-year level term policy for less than $45 a month. Oh, you say you're 60? No problem. Under $120 a month. 20 or 30-year terms, even permanent plans are available. Okay, so you might have some health problems, huh? Lots of us do, but the experts at AccuQuote will still work with you to find the best affordable policy. To find out how much you can save, call AccuQuote today, 877-439-8830. That's 877-439-8830, 877-439-8830. AccuQuote. Call them today.
Rates, policy forms, and availability vary by state.
A legendary rap star has a message about the virus pandemic. USA Radio Network's Chris Barnes has a story.
Real important message. I need y'all to stay in the house for me, man.
Snoop Dogg says people need to stay inside their homes as much as possible until the pandemic subsides. California's Governor Gavin Newsom retweeted a video message from the rapper.
I need everybody to stay in the house. I know it's hard, but we got to stay in the house so we can get this thing, under control.
Snoop goes on to say the longer people continue to ignore the advice or in some cases violate orders not to go outside or gather in groups, the longer it's going to force Americans to have to isolate. For USA Radio News, I'm Chris Barnes.
There's a chance of tornadoes in the southeastern part of the United States. There's a line of rain and thunderstorms stretching from Missouri to the Carolinas. Some flooding and hail is possible, along with damaging winds and the potential once again for tornadoes. You're listening to USA Radio News.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
The coronavirus is having a large impact on restaurants across the United States, as most restaurants are now only allowed curbside pickup or to-go orders. Forrest Hidgen is the owner of Gumby's Pizza down in San Marcos, Texas. He tells Fox News what he's doing to stay afloat during these tough times.
We've adapted. We've gone to contact-free delivery where you can place an order online, pay online, and we deliver it without ever even having contact with your customer. And we've just tried to adapt to be different. Thanks to some great leadership here at the state of Texas, Governor Abbott released some great changes, and it's going to allow us to actually start delivering alcohol today. So we're trying to adapt daily. It's a new thing for us. Every morning we wake up, and we're just doing the best to try and keep as many of my employees working and the people here in the local city of San Marcos fed, and we really rely on their help to keep us going.
Restaurants around the country have dubbed Tuesday as Great American Takeout Day. The idea is to order takeout or delivery and post about it on social media using the hashtag Great American Takeout. Japan is delaying the 2020 Olympics until next year. On NBC's Today Show, NBC Sports primetime host Mike Tirico says the delay was inevitable.
It went downhill so fast and so quickly, as everything has really, regarding this.
Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has said the games will be held next summer. For USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
The following is an America Matters Media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Welcome to this evening's episode of Rush Hour. I am your host, Kelly Rush, and we are a production of America Matters Media, the home of quality conversation. You can check us out on the web at americamatters.us. That's americamatters.us. We are also on Facebook at facebook.com/Reno Rush Hour. That's also my Twitter handle, so you can follow me there, like me on Facebook, and check out the watch party I'm about to get started. And this is an interactive program. We want you to join us. So give us a call if you are feeling feeling phone-like today, toll free from anywhere in the world, 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Or you can drop us a line in the Facebook Watch Party comments box. Oh, we're also on YouTube, too. I always forget to mention that. We are on YouTube. I've got a Reno Rush Hour YouTube channel, and we're also on the American Matters Media YouTube channel. So all over the darn place. And my special guest today is Joe, I'm calling him Joe, but Joseph Andrew Holsworth. And he released today, and I get the exclusive. I love exclusive scoops. It's just the old journalist in me. But What Deepest Remains, The Journey Home. And this is autobiographical. It's a novel. It is a novel, Joseph.
It is a novel, yeah. But it's not autobiographical.
It's got it's based in good reality, and I love that. That's my very favorite kind. If not a true crime, book, straight up. This is my favorite kind of novel. And so we're going to talk to you all about this. But first, since this is my short segment because of that long news break, I want you to tell our listeners and viewers who you are, kind of where you were born, and kind of what your educational background was. I know you went into the service early, and kind of why, and your just kind of your life trajectory that led you to this journey.
Okay, yeah, that there's a lot that goes into that for sure. First off, thanks for having me on. It's great to be on here. Really appreciate that. As far as what brought me, I guess, from my early adulthood to be here was excuse me. I started off. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, and I was, into sports as a kid. My dad was very much an outdoorsman, so I kind of grew up, doing a lot of hiking, doing a lot of fishing, things like that. So I was always interested in the outdoors. And when I got out of high school, or when I was a senior, rather, 9/11 happened, and then that kind of like drew me into feeling obligated, I think, to answer that call at the time, at least. So I enlisted in the military, and I went into the 82nd because that was my best chance to go to Afghanistan at the time, which is what I was trying to do. And I ended up doing a tour in Afghanistan. I did 2 tours in Iraq. I got out after my one enlistment in 2006. And then went to college at University of Nevada and got my degree in literature, and then moved to the Bay Area with my wife, who I met at University of Nevada. She went to law school at Berkeley, and I was teaching out here, middle school, public school in Oakland, actually. And then this year I decided to go back to school to get my MFA in writing.
Wow. And that's pretty impressive. And so what was your idea after you got, going through school and getting your degree? What did you want to do after that? I mean, did you have a plan? Did you have, a career idea? Did you immediately want to write the book? I mean, what was what was your idea behind that?
Yeah, when I went to school coming out of the military, I wanted to go and have what I thought of as like a traditional liberal education, where I really wasn't so much like gearing for learning a particular skill, but I went to school to really try to figure out more about the world and what had brought me to, one, make my decision to go into the military and do what I did, and then also on the macro level, just our involvement in the Middle East and world politics altogether, so it kind of drew me into subjects of history, literature, philosophy. So I studied that stuff and just got really immersed into it in school. And I was always very interested in writing. I'd never really tried any until I wrote my first novel in 2011. And really what spurred that was just a lot of the books that were coming out about Iraq and Afghanistan. I didn't really feel like there was a certain perspective that was being told, at least from like the soldiers' end. I felt like most of the stories that were being told from the soldiers' end were more or less just, in a sense, kind of like glorifying either our participation as a country in what we were doing or their particular part in it to a certain level that kind of made me uncomfortable. So I kind of wanted to give what I thought was a more, raw depiction of what it was actually like to be an infantryman on the ground and what we were doing.
And it's one of those things that people do want to know about, because we don't get the truth from the military. We don't get the truth from the media. We don't get the truth from the government. We get sanitized versions. We get lies, and then, we want to hear what happened to you. We want to hear your experience, your journey, about you, the person, not just the battle, the politics, the military part of it. And that's what I want to talk about when we come back from our first break. Come back to the second segment of today's Rush Hour with Kelly Rush and Joe Holsworth, talking about his debut release, out today, What Deepest Remains, The Journey Home. Come back with us.
Hi, this is Eddie Floyd. Let me tell you about my favorite non-profit public charity, Wainema Wild Horse Sanctuary, located on the Forsyth Ranch in Hallelujah Junction area. And please go to www.wainemaranch.com. That's WYNEMA ranch.com.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
As humans, we ask ourselves all kinds of questions. But what if we were forced to ask ourselves a question every day that affected the outcome of the most basic things, the most important things in our lives? The question is, what is your sexual orientation or gender identity? And the answer is the difference between keeping your job or getting fired. The answer is the difference between staying in your home or getting evicted. The answer is the difference between receiving medical treatment or not. Because in 31 states, it's legal to discriminate against people based on their answer to this question. LGBT Americans have the right to say I do, but they don't have the same basic rights as everyone else. Get the facts at beyondido.org. Brought to you by the Gill Foundation and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ,
a Lotus broadcast station.
the power of radio since 1967.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the second segment of today's Rush Hour. I am your host, Kelly Rush, and on the Zoom with us is Joe Holsworth, also known as author Joseph Andrew Holsworth. What a great name. Man, that rocks. You could be anything named Joseph Andrew Holsworth. You could be a lawyer, you could be a doctor, you could be an author, you could be an actor. You could be a rock star, Joho. I mean, you could be a town. I mean, geez, man, that's just a great name. You're going to be, man, are you going to be a success? You got it. Seriously, I'm telling you, you are on your way. You are really on your way. And what deepest remains, the journey home, is your first. This is just tapping your toes in the water. I mean, this was a great. This was awesome. I can't wait to read it. And this was published by LaRue Press, right here, based here in Reno, Nevada. LRPNV.com. LRPNV.com is their website, and Jan Hermsen is the principal there, and she was just on a show here called A Pinch of Basil with comedian Basil, and she has a show that you were on. I lied. I said I was the exclusive. That's actually not true. You were on her show, What's the Story, yesterday, from 3 to 5 every Monday.
But today's the release day.
But today's the release day. I got the exclusive on the actual release. Yeah. So I'm proud of that. And I'm so glad to have you with me. So Joe Holsworth, I'm kind of casualizing this because that's what I do. I just kind of break it down. Break it down.
Oh, yeah. Please don't do the whole Joseph Andrew Holsworth. Like you said, I just kind of has like a certain authoritarian like punch to it.
So authoritative. Let's not go with authoritarian. Authoritarian is what Hitler was. Authoritative means powerful and austere. And so sorry, I'm like a big grammar cop and literary. I'm like big old English teacher type. But so tell me about your school experience, your educational experience, your reading. Like, what do you like to read? That what was that like coming up through school? What were your friends like? Like, what was that experience like? Was it good? Was it bad? Did you like it? Did it suck?
It was mostly all good. Yeah. I mean, in school, I played baseball and basketball all through high school. So, I mean, even though I was really into music and film and literature, most of my friends were just kind of concentrated on athletics. So I kind of had like one or two friends that were into like music and other things, and we would have like our little like side conversations about stuff. But it wasn't until after I got out of the military that I really concentrated on the arts and like really dove specifically into literature, and then kind of planned on I made a decision between either taking a film route if I wanted to get into like directing or writing film, or if I wanted to concentrate on just being a novelist. And I decided that, I had more interest and I was more suited to be a novelist.
That's cool. And so is that what you're going to do? Are you just going to keep writing novels and, go that direction?
Yeah, I mean, I was teaching public school, like I said, in Oakland for a few years. And then I decided to get my MFA in creative writing so I could, maybe teach at the college level and then just focus on, just producing novels. And, I might get into maybe some, like long hand journalism and stuff. But I mostly want to be a novelist.
That's cool. And what kind of, what genre are you going to stick to one? Are you going to do different? Do you like the series style where you have like a character? Do you have any idea even?
Yeah, I mean, so far I've written autobiographically just because, I really had a specific story I wanted to tell and thought I needed to tell. And now that I've gotten that out with, two different pieces, the piece I'm working on now during my MFA, I'm working on a third novel, and it's not really related at all to my military experience. And I've gotten a lot more into postmodern and transgressive fiction, and it's made me want to, branch out myself as a writer and kind of change my narrative style and not get stuck in one particular sense. Because it would be easy to just write about my military experiences for the next 25 years. And,
Oh, of course. And you could. I'm sure you have plenty of material too.
yeah, and I just, I don't want to do that for multiple reasons.
Of course, of course. Yeah, I mean, why keep digging it up and,
That's a big thing for sure, yeah.
But what do you like to read personally? Like, what are some of your favorite authors and books?
Yeah, I mean, my all-time favorite book, I would have to say, is, I'm into the classics because I studied literature. So I really fell in love with American realism. So for me, The Great Gatsby,
Yes.
anything by Fitzgerald.
Oh, yes.
I'm huge on, then the whole crew, like Hemingway, and then even as far as like poetry, like I'll get into Pound and stuff then. And then just like kind of going up like the ladder from there as far as like who took the torch of what I consider, that like transgressive and like hardcore American realism, then up to the Beats. And then Ken Kesey is one of my favorite writers of all time. Sometimes A Great Notion, I would say, is probably one of my like 5 favorite novels ever. And then now that I'm in an MFA program and I'm around a lot of other writers, I'm trying to get better at reading contemporary fiction, and considering like I'm writing in, contemporary times, obviously. So I need to like, get more familiarized with that. So I'm trying to like start branching out and read like a little bit more modern writers, but I'm still like kind of stuck in like the 90s for the most part.
Yeah,
like
yeah. No, I
David
get
Foster
it.
Wallace, Jerry Stahl.
Yeah. No, I get it. And it, it's hard. You got, you want to read what you like, but when you do start to branch out, you find, you'll find stuff that you like or that you can tolerate at least. But
Yeah.
Gatsby, oh my God. I swear I lived a lifetime in the 20s. I had to have, because I love Fitzgerald, and that whole time period is, I love that book. I do. It was great. It was required reading for me in 10th grade.
Yeah, it was one of those books that same thing, first time I read it in school, for me, it didn't really like capture me so much, but when I revisited it, I just fell in love with it. I read that book 7 times
Yeah.
while I was writing this novel.
Wow.
And it was over like about a 3.5, 4 year period, but I mean, I was just every like few months I would read it again.
That's crazy. But yeah, I love that. And I was made to read 1984 in 1984. And so, I mean, I was, deeply affected, Fahrenheit 451 and Catch-22 and, Animal Farm. So, I mean, I learned a lot about what's really going on at a very early age and have been poised to do something about it for 30 years. So I am very prepared for what's happening right now. And I'm sure you, having served in the military, especially at the time you did, have a bit of a clue too. So, what do you think about the current events? What's your take on it?
Man,
Are you prepared if called? Are you ready to Are you ready to go if the S hits the fan and you suddenly get a notice?
Notice as far as like just having to like evacuate completely?
No, like get called up, like drafted.
Oh, like I wouldn't at this point. I mean, I'm 35 years old.
I wouldn't be so sure. I mean, if I mean, this is highly. I mean, it's not going to happen. It's not. But I'm just saying, you know how everybody always talks about, you know, the people who watch too many movies, you know, talk about, you know, the military having to blah 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 and protect our board, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You know, just, you know, if are you prepared, since you're on the list? And, you know, like if the 5th, 6th, and 7th line, you know, get called and they get down to your name, are you prepared? If you have to go, are you ready?
Well, I would say I'm physically probably still ready. I don't know if I'm really.
Well, no. I mean, they wouldn't send you to the front lines. They'd send you to management. I'm just saying, are you prepared for wartime if something like that happened? No, they would not send. I'm not saying, are you prepared to get your guns and you know, go out to the desert? Yeah. That's not what I'm saying. Are you prepared to you know, go back to, you know, to the military and start ordering troops around and, you know, pulling projects and stuff?
I mean, honestly, as far as like the issue, you know, with COVID-19 and everything, I haven't considered that as a real possibility for me whatsoever until you're just mentioning it to me now, and now, you know, I'm thinking about all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
I mean, honestly, this is the first time I've actually considered that.
Well, let's talk about it. Think about it for a second. Let's talk about it on the other side of the break. We'll be back for the second half of today's Rush Hour with Kelly Rush and Joe Holsworth after these messages.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dennis Patterson. I'm the founder and owner of Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists. At Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists, we take a comprehensive approach to treating patients with chronic pain in the greater Reno, Tahoe area. We believe in the biopsychosocial model. This means we use multiple disciplines such as massage therapy, physical therapy, behavioral health, and medical treatments to treat your chronic pain. A plan of care is tailor-made for each individual patient. We always recommend conservative care first, but offer minimally invasive treatments when necessary. We are your one-stop shop. If it hurts, we can help. We pride ourselves in providing passionate care and making you feel welcome and understood. We are located in Reno and in Sparks, so give us a call to schedule a new patient consult at 284-8650. Again, that's 284-8650. Or visit our website at nvadvancedpain.com. We hope you choose Nevada Advanced Pain Specialists to be your center for injury rehabilitation. nvadvancedpain.com, 284-8650.
Ready for a live game of Clue? For nearly 30 years, Funtime Theaters held private and monthly dinner murder mysteries. Each night is different, and each event includes dinner and a show. You're the detective, and your job is to figure out who did what to who and why. At the end of the night, a super sleuth and not so super sleuth are awarded prizes. This is a great event for a birthday or holiday party and team building events for your office. Visit funtimetheater.com to make your reservations and use promo code RADIO for $5 off each admission.
Hey, Dr. Phil here. I help people solve difficult and trying personal problems every day on my TV show, but there's one problem that's just got me stumped: childhood hunger. Nearly 16 million children in America struggle with it. That's 1 in 5 kids who may not know where their next meal is coming from, despite the fact that there's more than enough healthy, nutritious food out there to feed them all. Now, I don't know about you, but that is unacceptable to me. Luckily, the Feeding America network of good people is out there collecting surplus food and giving hope to hungry children and their families at local food banks all across the country. But let's face it, they can't do it without your help. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
You're invited to join Business Connections with Anita every Wednesday from 10 to 11 a.m. here on 1180 a.m. KCKQ America Matters.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the second half of today's Rush Hour. I am your host, Kelly Rush. And as I said at the top of the show, we're an interactive program. So interact with us. Why ain't ya? Give us a call. Cool. You know, like the phone, pick it up. Call us, dial 844-790-TALK, 844-790-8255. And that's a toll-free call. We'll pick up the tab for that. Anywhere on this big blue and green marble. So worldwide, you can call us from anywhere, and it's free for you. And do that. We would love to have you call in and tell us what you think about what's going on all over with the whole COVID-19 and the shelter in place or not, or whatever, you know. Especially if you are not in the United States, I would love to know what's happening where you are, or if you're in another state from Nevada, I would love to know what's happening where you are, and just let us know. And also, too, I want to put out, as CEO of America Matters Media, I want to let the entire Northern Nevada community know that all of the businesses that are remaining open, we are offering reduced rates. I mean, our rates are already ridiculously low, and everybody, you know, you guys know that. But we are offering reduced rates for any of our community businesses that are remaining open. We've got special packages. Anybody that's remaining open that would like to get the word out that you're remaining open, we are here to help you. So please give us a call. You can call me directly, 775-203-4950. You can call Eddie Floyd directly. He's our Chief Sales Officer, 775-834. Wait a minute. No, that's not right. 775-384-4444. 775-384. Is that right? 44. Wait, let me look it up. I'm such an idiot. Sorry, Joe. Eddie's listening, probably screaming at his phone. There it is. 775-384-4444. 775-384-4444. That's Eddie Floyd. And just those are your, or call Christian here at the office, 775-827-8900, extension 1. And you can get any of us on Facebook. You can hit us up on Messenger. That's an easy way to get us. Just, get in touch. We will help you out. We can help you with digital marketing, of course, on-air marketing, with advertising. And one of the most important things we can do for you is bring you here on air in the studio with the video, the audio, the podcasts, everything, that way as well. You can speak directly to your customers, let them see you face to face, as well as hear your message, telling them, what you have to say and what you have to offer and what you're doing here in the community. So get in touch with us. 775-203-4950 is me, Kelly Rush, or Eddie Floyd, 775-384-4444. Easy to remember, 384-4444, or here at the office. Just go to americamatters.us for all our information. And okay, I'll get off the soapbox there. That's enough of that. And back to my special guest today, debuting his is this your second publication?
Yeah, second publication.
Awesome. So your sophomore publication debuting today right here on Rush Hour. It was just released today. Joe Holsworth's What Deepest Remains, The Journey Home. And so we've been talking about, this was about you coming out of the Army. And let's talk about that. Let's, tell us just give a synopsis about the book. Just a summary.
Yeah, just from basic plot point. I begin the book with again, this is a novel, but it's heavily autobiographical. So I begin it based on my experiences on my last mission, on my last tour in Iraq before I got out of the military, where my whole unit got ambushed and things got pretty bad. And that just coincidentally was my last mission I ever went on. And then I got out of the military right after that when we redeployed. So it was, I started the book there, and then I just go from, trying to give a general idea of a soldier's reintegration process, just not just like socially, but internally, trying to figure out their own identity after you get out of the military. You have this whole persona that you were this soldier the whole time, and then you get out, you have to establish yourself as something else, or you don't, and that's troublesome in its own sense. So I wanted to kind of show that characterization, of the soldier trying to figure out, like, what is his role now? What's his role in society? What is he supposed to, be doing? And then battling with post-traumatic stress disorder in a real heavy way, all amongst, these other, just personal issues that a 22-year-old kid's going through.
And what kind of PTSD and other, physical and medical issues did you come back with?
I got pretty lucky as far as like physical injuries. When we got ambushed, I had some damage, got to a leg that recovered fine and stuff. I'm pretty good physically and all, but I've been out for, going on 14 years, I guess. And I still just have, like really, really, troublesome anxiety that's, hard to manage.
Yeah.
So luckily I've been really lucky and at least been able to get into writing and like stay in academia in some manner or another to like keep myself going and have something to do to make a living. But it's been a huge struggle, and I wouldn't be able to do it if not for my wife.
Yeah. Are you considering pursuing PhD once you finish the MAF?
Probably not, because I was either considering doing a PhD or an MFA. It was like kind of one or the other.
MFA, sorry.
And so, a lot of people with MFAs do go and get PhDs as well, but like, I probably won't. I'll probably just focus on teaching creative writing more than literature and getting into literary critique.
Right.
It's just, I think.
Well, yeah, if you're going to write,
people do it,
not
hard,
teach. If you're going to write and not teach or be in management, be in academic management, there's really no point.
Yeah, and just getting into like literary theory at a really deep level at the same time as trying to be a novelist.
Yeah.
Like I don't have the brain power for that.
Do you even have the interest?
I do have the interest for sure. I do really love I was a literature major. That's what I got my BA in. And I really do still have a deep interest in that. While I'm getting my MFA, part of my program, I'm, assisting with teaching in a literary theory class to undergraduates. And I was, while I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, I could just as easily go get a PhD and just do this. But again, just like if I'm going to be writing novels,
right.
If I stay as focused in creative writing as possible, that's what I'm going to try to do. So that's why I took the MFA route.
Yeah, that was smart. And how much longer do you have to go?
So I'm in a 2-year program, so it's pretty quick and compressed. Yeah. So I'm about to next month I'll finish up this first year, and then I'll just have 1 more year.
Awesome. And are you having an easy time with it, or a good time, or is it hard?
It's definitely challenging, but it's great. Like it's so great.
That's cool.
I went to University of Nevada, and I definitely shout out Wolfpack. So I did have a good experience as an undergraduate, but I mean, obviously it's a lot different, and now just being in an environment where I get to just focus on writing all the time. And it's like I'm around other writers, and
you're a grown up too. I mean, you're 35.
Yeah, I'm going back at 35,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Going to grad school. So it's like, it's a lot different. And, I've got a little bit of experience, obviously, like in this field. So,
sure.
But I mean, primarily, I went because, I want to hone my skills, I want to get sharper with everything, but also, I want to get my foot in academia. And,
yeah, of course.
MFA to really do that.
Oh yeah. And you can't beat the, that background having that background as a writer either. That's good for you. That's amazing. So, well, we've got to go to another break. This goes so fast, and you have so much to say. So we've got to go to another break. We'll be back for the 4th and final segment with Joseph Andrew Holsworth, MFA. After these messages, author of What Deepest Remains. Hang with us. We'll be right back.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I spend a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain, sleet, and mud. In 95, I helped tow your moving trailer. In 05, I helped you get out of a ditch. Yeah, I know I'm a bit rusty, and sadly in 09, it was sparks from me, your handy chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Sparks from dragging chains can start a wildfire. Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
1 in 3 adults in America have pre-diabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Here's 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mama. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the fourth and final segment of today's Rush Hour. I am Kelly Rush, and I have Joe Holsworth on the line, zooming in. I love this Zoom thing, and it's really worked out well. And I read a thing online that they are just going crazy with orders and, just really getting big right now and growing like crazy as people sign on to their service and check into what they're all about. But let's talk more about your program, your MFA program. That's Master of Fine Arts, correct?
Yeah.
And let's talk about kind of the assignments and the stuff that you actually work on for that. What do you have to do, and what are some of the actions you have to take?
Yeah, I mean, it's a variety of stuff with the program. The focus is that at the end of your 2 or 3 years, my program's a 2-year program, to have a full book size piece done. So for me as a novelist, that's having a novel done. So everything is focused on writing your novel, but you are at the same time taking 4 academic classes, and those can support what you're working on for your thesis project to some degree or another. As a novelist, I'm finding that most of the work that I do for school stuff, I'm not really able to use directly for my book, because, it's a lot of short story type writing or shorter hand fiction, getting into nonfiction writing in certain elements, and just expanding into different medias of writing, which is great. And I really enjoy it and makes me a lot better all around writer. But it's, definitely stuff that I'm doing kind of on the side while I'm focusing on writing my novel. But they also build into the program a mentored study session where you work with a certain writer. I was lucky enough to get to work, and I'm working with Tom Barbash, who blurbed this book that just came out today. And he's just a brilliant author. And so that's a huge benefit of the program, is getting to work alongside these accomplished great minds. And yeah,
that's really cool. And what are some of the subjects on these little side assignments? What are some of the subjects you've picked?
Yeah, so I've gotten, particularly this last semester, I've really started because one of my classes is focusing on world building within fiction. So building different settings, depending on what medium of writing you're mostly into, will kind of depend on, so some people are fantasy writers, so that might mean that they're creating entire universes,
Mm-hmm.
For me, it is, somebody who writes realist fiction that just, it doesn't mean that the setting isn't as important. And I think a lot of times people, at least, maybe more inexperienced writers, and, I'll still put myself in that category. It's if you're writing realism, you get so focused on characterization and emotionality and the, internalization of what's going on and everything. And it's easy to, forget that you want to build this, you have to build this physical world around these characters,
Mm-hmm.
not just for your reader to have a better base, but also just to get, a better emotionality out of it, and take advantage of every single piece and every stylistic tool that you can. So I guess that's been kind of my focus for this last semester.
Yeah, that's really cool. And so what do you do for fun? I mean, you know, what do you do outside of today's current environment? You know, like when things are, you know, regular.
Yeah, I mean,
What are some of your hobbies and interests?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as a writer, you know, I'm a big reader too, so you won't really get into that. But you know, I'm as far as indoor stuff, I'm just a huge, you know, music fan, all kinds of genres, anything from, you know, old psychedelic rock to jazz, blues. And then, you know, I really like cinema a lot too. So, I mean, I can stay pretty busy just with the arts and stuff. And then as far as outdoor stuff, you know, I keep myself pretty busy by trying to run every day. I got into like distance running a few years ago to kind of like, you know, help with different psychological ailments, and definitely it was helpful in that. And then I just, you know, kept it up for one, therapeutic reasons, but I just, you know, really enjoyed it recreationally too. So
that's a big plus. That's a huge plus, because that's really great for all kinds of, even walking, just that particular you know, exercise is really good for mental and physical health. So that's great. And you know, just the fact that you were able to, you know, come out of what you did and, you know, not only recover from it and, you know, go on to, you know, succeed and be in the process of succeed, but make something out of it into art, you know, make art out of it that's going to, you know, enrich people's lives. This story will, you know, will really touch people and, you know, possibly help them through some issues as they connect with it. You know, so that's really, you can't beat that. You know what I mean? You really can't, you know, that's just an all around plus.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I mean, that's really like the best compliment I could get for this book. I mean, I really, you know, I had a lot of intentions with it, but one of the biggest ones was for veterans, but anybody who's, you know, been affected by this whole mess in any manner, having, you know, something that they could relate to a little bit more than the normal, you know, movies and books that are put out about this stuff.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, this is just, I can't wait to read it. I haven't, you know, I've, you know, read, you know, bits and pieces and, you know, things that, but I'm really, really excited to read the whole thing and find out more about, and like, you know, like you said, a reality, what do you say, reality novelist, or what do you call that genre, your genre?
I would just call it realism.
Realism. I don't like reality. I don't like that, you know.
You could say transgressive realism if you want to add another element of the subgenre.
Or literary realism. Yeah, literary realism. I like that, you know, where you know, you're weaving true, you know, true story in with the, you know, you're weaving fiction in with the true story. Really, it's really a true story that's being told with some fictional elements, rather than, you know, a fictional story that's has a little truth in it. And I think that's people are going to love that.
Yeah, I read like some Capote and stuff before I got into this to kind of get that same tone of like the nonfiction novel kind of approach to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, Tom Barbash's quote right on the front that says, "It takes a soldier to write this convincingly about the world of Humvees and IEDs, but it takes a gifted prose writer to do so with the level of grace and power Joseph Holsworth achieves in What Deepest Remains." I mean, there you have it. You know, that grace and power. So that just, it tells you that it's just this. I mean, you know, when a novel is described as being written with grace and power, that just hits me right in the gut. I mean, it makes me want to run, to the bookstore and grab it. So, that's my kind of book.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. It was a tremendous compliment from Tom Barback.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, this is great. It is. It's resonating with me already. So, and just speaking to you too. And I was here when you were doing the interview with Jan and her team with What's the Story on Monday, and heard part of it there, and so I knew you had something, and I knew that Jan had something. Jan, I mean, Jan's a wizard. She knows talent too, and of course, with LaRue Press publishing the book, I knew it would be good anyway. But just hearing you then, and seeing it when she brought me the copy too, just looking at it and seeing that picture on the front too, and just the whole thing is just, the package is just beautiful, and it just resonates. It just really resonates, Joe. And
I think so. Janice really did a great job with everything.
Yeah, they did. LaRue Press is incredible. LRPNV.com.
Yeah, I'm really grateful to have gotten hooked up with her.
Yep. Well, we're glad to have you here too we call it our little community, our little family here in Reno. So I'd love to meet you. Hopefully you can come over sometime. We're not that far from you.
Yeah, I come often. I spent 7 years there, so I still consider myself a Renoite.
Of course you are. So we've got to go. But Joseph Andrew Holsworth, What Deepest Remains: The Journey Home, and the links are posted on Rush Hour Radio Show page, and we'll post them all around our whole family of pages. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. And Joe Holsworth, thanks for being with me.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball!